Hi, hello, welcome back to whatever channel this is turning into. Um, so this will be the 4.5 month SOT update video. And I think I'm going to include some other things just because there's been some questions, so maybe a little bit of background of my story and just answering some different questions, and it doesn't have to just be about SOT. But yeah, I didn't post last month. I was just too busy with too much going on. So here we are. Let's get right into it. So first I'll just give an update and then answer some questions, and then maybe some other things will flow in and out of there, but I'll give context to my story as well, like how things have developed over time and what I've done and stuff like that. But first, SOT 4.5 months out, I actually had some lab work done back at the end of December and got those results, had a doctor's appointment with the SOT office in Georgia. Some of you have asked where I have been going, and it's been online other than, actually it hasn't been online, it's been on the phone appointment, except for actually going and receiving the SOT. And I will put a description down below of what SOT stands for. It's Singular Occulotide Therapy. It's very scientific. It reminds me very much of like a personal vaccine. And I hate even saying that because just the whole vaccine situation, but they are taking your blood, they are making you this particular treatment based off of your pathogen, very specific to you. And this little tiny thing, this little vial of solution comes back, and it's yours, and it's made for your body, and it gets mixed with saline, and they inject it into you, and the SOT gets in there, and what it does, it's like similar to gene therapy. It goes in there and hooks into the not DNA but mRNA, or I don't know, I should know. But it's like a key. It hooks into whatever pathogen and stops the life cycle. I could explain that better, and maybe I should make a video trying to explain that better, but it's not the point right now. But it hooks into that and it stops the life cycle. So Lyme disease is 90 days. So the point is hopefully after 90 days, there hasn't been a chance for it to replicate, and then just like a lot of cleaning up and detoxing and getting out all of the die-off, and just still working on if there's anything left over. I guess depending on how bad your infection can be, you could have to have more than one SOT for one specific particular pathogen. So anyways, I'll put more below, but that's what SOT kind of is. And it's a crazy scientific therapy that's just really interesting, and it isn't just for Lyme, it's also for other tick-borne infections, and also I think that they do them for different herpes, viruses, Epstein-Barr. There are particular cancers they can use this for, so there's that. So I got my lab work back, and she said that it couldn't look any better, which is just really great news. They don't test for Lyme at the 4 month mark because there could just still be so much going on. It doesn't give a good enough representation as to what the bigger picture is. So we'll retest for that around 6.5 months. But we did retest just to see how my immune system is working on the other infections. So especially Bartonella, that was a really big one for me, and Babesia, and also there's like a lot of Epstein-Barr and some other things going on, different Borrelia strains as well. a lot of my numbers on these things have came down, which is really, really great. So I did Vibrant labs and then I did MDL labs. So the Vibrant, we didn't test for Lyme. On the MDL, like, it automatically comes with all the testing. The Lyme disease is mixed in with testing for Bartonella and Epstein-Barr and all of these other things. It's hard to like say this out loud. There's so much emotion that comes with it, and I think if you've been on this journey, it's hard to want to get your hopes up. But it's really important to say, even this early, that on my MDL labs, my CDC positive before, my very apparent huge positive result for Lyme disease is no longer there. So that's big. Yeah, it didn't show up on that lab. So I don't know if it would have shown up on Vibrant, but it's a big deal. So everything is working as it should. And I say that, but there's like a little twist. So I was feeling really good. Like, I hadn't had any joint pain in quite a while. The pain in my head actually started going away with ozone therapy, which some of you have talked about in the question box. And I did a lot of ozone therapy probably around a year ago. I did about 15 sessions back to back, and I felt like that really moved the needle for me. It was huge to get the inflammation down, my immune system start working, my nervous system settling from the inflammation going down. It was really, really big. I was doing a lot around that time, but I do feel like that was one of the major turning points really after the 8th or 9th session. So yeah, yeah, like before recently, like the joint pain was gone, head pain, like just felt more clarity, just felt so much more like myself. Everyone was noticing, like, hey, you seem like you're doing so much better. Are you? Is your treatment working? The answer was yes. So that was really exciting. And then I got COVID for the 3rd time over Christmas. And it's just created so much inflammation in my body. I have started having joint pain and head pain and like jaw stuff and intense brain fog. And yeah, just like a little bit of anxiety, nervous system stuff. Thankfully that hasn't been as bad. And just some other symptoms. So that's been really discouraging. It's hard to know too, like maybe the Lyme maybe it's just the COVID, the inflammation from the COVID. Maybe it's flaring Epstein-Barr stuff, maybe gut stuff. Maybe it's not fair to say, oh, it's flaring my Lyme disease, because those numbers have went way down. Is it? I have no idea. Is it flaring Bartonella stuff, especially because of the location of the pain and the sensation of the pain? Bartonella head pain is more in the front through here, and I even get like this like ice pick pain in my head. The Lyme was very much like the back of my head, like someone had just hit me with a baseball bat, like so much pressure in my occipitals and neck and things like that. So a lot of this feels maybe like other infections flaring, or it could just be inflammation from COVID. I have no idea. But it's been hard. It's been hard to like feel so well and then have this. I also had the flu in November, so it was just like a lot of sickness. So my body's struggling a bit. I'm trying really hard. Like, I think if anyone's on this journey, you know, like how just incredible it feels to feel like yourself if you've gotten to that point after going through hell. And when you take any steps backwards, sometimes it feels just like such a PTSD, like trauma trigger that, oh God, like, am I going to lose what I've gained? I've also been looking for the evidence of things changed then, they can change now. I don't know the timeline. I have so much more tools and resources now to deal with this. And people in my pocket, and I can be really proactive, and supplements and all sorts of stuff. So I'm just trying to hold tight and not spiral down the dark well of fuck. Excuse my language, but it can be such a dark, scary place, especially if you have the inflammation of the nervous system or any kind of like vagal inflammation, vagus nerve inflammation. You know, it just sends such a big signal to your body, like, I'm not safe, I'm not safe, I'm not safe, something's wrong. And it's coming from such a biological, physical place, something's wrong. That was just such a part of my journey for a year and a half when everything flared intensely. My bucket just overflowed. Yeah, that panic, that anxiety was the darkest hell that I've ever walked through, with also like the head pain. And there were so many other crazy symptoms. Like at one point I just, for a long time, just list so long of so much crazy shit. And then eventually just started to slowly come into a few things. But it can just be so hard. So I'm really trying to keep my heart open and tell my body that it's safe and that I am equipped to go through this and have all that I need. So with that being said, I've started back ozone therapy. I've only had one session. I'm going to do once a week for a little bit. It's hard, like the amount of money on all of this is just insane. You know, just the ozone treatments alone are $280 for one session out of pocket. But it's worth it. Like, if you know that some of these things have really worked, it only makes sense to give your body that gift, if you can, of helping it out. So yeah, that's my plan. Like, it would be amazing to know where I would be without COVID at this 4.5 month mark, but that's not my story, and that's not where I'm at. I'm here in this moment, and this is just my path. So it's teaching me a lot, especially having certain symptoms like the head pain come back. Like, you just forget, you quickly forget when you feel better sometimes. Like, you just want to get it out of your mind, but you realize again, like, just to hold so much more compassion for people, and just what people could really be going through on a day-to-day basis, and what a gift it is to not have some of these symptoms. Like, sometimes when I'm feeling better, it's like my being just starts to want more and more in other ways, silly ways. And then this reminds me, like, oh, like, I just want my health. It's okay to want more than that, but ooh, just to not have your head hurt, and to not have just deep joint pain and brain fog and all of that and more symptoms. I'm thankful it's this mild at this moment. I'm thankful it's not worse. I'm thankful that there's not more, but yeah, it just makes you realize how good feeling good feels, and that's just so much. Anyways, so yeah, that's where I'm at with SOT. As of right now, it looks like all of my stuff is just moving perfectly, so I don't know if I will need another. We'll just kind of cross that bridge when we get there, but it looks like my immune system is working as well as possible. We'll see. Maybe after I test again after having COVID, that will be different. Anyways, so yeah, the place that I went to, the Genesis Center in Georgia, super beautiful, really nice clinic. To be honest, I don't super love the person that I'm seeing, but it's good enough to get me through. I think there's a lot of amazing people there, but yeah, just putting that out there. It might not be fair because I haven't communicated the needs that I'm feeling versus like what I'm getting. So there could probably be room for improvement with my relationship there. But right now I'm just like, I'm just going there for the SOT. And then I have a doctor here locally that I am working with. So yeah, I don't know that if I'm forgetting anything. If I am, just like put it in the question box below. I was gonna try to make this short, but I feel like it's hard to keep it under like 20 minutes. So some questions. Yes, I have done ozone and I'm doing ozone now. The place that I'm going to, just went over that. Was I dealing with Lyme symptoms before COVID? I got COVID the first time in 2020. I do think that really snowballed my immune system into flaring all of these things, along with just death and family and grief and some other stress in my personal life and just other things that my immune system was dealing with. But yeah, in my mid-20s, I tried to get tested for Lyme. I did some crappy test. It came back negative. I don't even know if it was like a real Lyme test. I did a hair analysis, like a energetic kinesiology hair testing, and that came back with Lyme. That was in my mid-20s. I just had like chronic fatigue. I also think I was dealing with chronic Epstein-Barr as well. So I think that I've honestly probably had Lyme disease since I was little. Some of you asked, like, did I get bit? Was there a rash? I can't remember. I just remember like it was like a joke, like, Mom, will you look and check to see if there's ticks in my hair or my scalp? Because I thought it felt good, and plus there was normally like a tick in there somewhere, which just makes me cringe. But yeah, I mean, just constantly out in the woods, constantly being bit. So I truly have no idea when I came in contact with this, but I think my immune system did a really fucking great job for a long time, and my symptoms were mild until it just became too much. And I think too, COVID, just this virus, like, is a demon, is a devil, and it really exposes a lot of monsters that are in you. Some people asked what all I've done ever since 2021, when all of this exploded for me. I've done lots and lots and lots of supplements. I've done magnet therapy, biomagnetism. I did a very short amount of antibiotics, chiropractic, deep somatic work, which I felt like was really huge, like really befriending my symptoms, which was extremely difficult because I had so much resentment. I did body code, emotional trauma healing. I did cranial sacral, lots of herbal supplements, mindset work. I feel like I'm forgetting some. Yeah, I did a lot of biomagnetism. I did a lot of cranial sacral. I did a lot of herbs. I did a lot of ozone. I did a lot of all of these things. I was just like balls to the walls for a while. I was so messed up that I just was desperate, so desperate. So yeah, that answers that question. I'm probably leaving some things out. There are some protocols that I have not done that I know that work beautifully for other people, and other herbs and things like that. I am taking herbs at the moment. I just started back up. I feel like it's important along with the SOT. I did wait though. I wanted to see how the SOT would work without herbs. But I am taking methylene blue for the Bartonella. It's also good for a lot of other things. If you're interested in like what supplements I'm taking right now, I can make a little video on that, so just comment and let me know. I feel like there might have been more, but maybe that's it. So yeah, thankful I'm not feeling worse, but I'm not excited about where I am, mainly because of the head pain and the brain fog and the joint pain. Thankfully, I'm sleeping. That was a huge part of my journey, was not sleeping. Thankfully, my nervous system feels pretty calm. Been doing a ton of breath work, a ton. I'm also, thankfully, I have the capacity to be in a study program right now where I'm becoming a breathwork facilitator, in addition to already being a yoga teacher. So I think that that's really helpful. I'm really hoping that the ozone, and I'm also going to schedule some cranial sacral that will help with the head pain. Like, it's this left side, like I feel it all the way, like also in my jaw. This whole side of my body is kind of tight, but through here, just it's not a headache, it's a pain. Sometimes it's like also this tightening throughout here and this like weird tingly sensation. It kind of just moves around. It's like there's something in there that's just like having a field trip. Anyways, yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks for keeping up with the journey. It'll be interesting to see where it all goes and how this all unfolds and what the next round of testing shows. And you know, I might have to do like a viral protocol to lower my viral load. There's quite a few things going on with that. Lyme and Bartonella and things are more of a bacterial pathogen. So yeah, if you have any questions or any comments, please feel free to put them below. Sorry I can't condense this video into like 10 or 15 minutes. It's just too much to kind of talk about. And I feel like I'm still forgetting things, but it felt important to just go ahead and make it and get it out there. Someone asked too if I had steroids with the SOT. No, I know some clinics do that. I did not, thankfully. Yeah, I think that's it for now. If there's anything you want me to touch on outside of SOT, like a specific subject with all of this that I can make a little video on, again, like supplements or just like maybe getting more in depth with old symptoms that came with this whole journey, and anything that would be helpful is what I'm trying to say. Just let me know. Yeah, I hope that wherever you're at, you know that you're not alone, because that was the most important thing for me. That was the thing that got me through. It's not being alone. And I also hope that you know deep down that things can change, even if it feels like there's no hope, that eventually, if you hang on long enough, things change and things will get better, and your desperation will move you into something that will work. And there's going to be ups and downs and like 10 steps forward, 20 steps back, and that we're just all in this together and learning and growing and doing the best we can. So thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. I love you all, and yeah, have a great rest of your day.